if you have a pig or have had one for any length of time, maybe through the winter season, you know that pigs hate the cold. They hate it. They hate the cold weather. They hate the rainy weather, a thunderstorm, anything like that, snow. Pigs naturally hate anything. They hate cold weather. They love the heat. They love to lay in the sun. They love to be warm. So, because many refuse to go outside in the wintertime, we are going to talk about what we can do to motivate our hot weather loving pigs to go out, be motivated enough to go out when it's cold or raining. So first of all, we're going to talk about what not to do. We do not want to force a pig to go out when they don't want to go out. And there's a good reason for that. If you want to teach your pig to hate something, force them to do it. Pigs are prey animals. They are flight animals. If something scares them, their natural instinct tells them to run away or get as far away from this thing that's scary as possible. So when we force our pig to do something, whether it's go in a crate, whether it is to go in a certain direction or to go outside when they don't want to, you are associating something they don't want to do with something even scarier, being forced to do it. So how do we change that pattern of thinking? How do we make them go from thinking, oh, I can't stand this, I hate this, I don't want to do this, to, hey, maybe I should go out because I think it's going to be worth my while. Number one, first thing that you want to think about when it comes to teaching your pig to go outside when it's cold or raining is be proactive. Take your pig outside in the summertime. Show them how wonderful it is, how the grass tastes, how whether, whatever you have around you, that the sun is nice and warm. Take them outside. Let them know what is out there. And while they're out there, give them lots of treats. In the future, they're gonna think outside is a good place, a happy place, a fun place. Then when it comes time to that yucky weather, not great weather, cold weather, they are going to already be prone to go outside. So now this is not as much of a battle. So there are two other things that I do with my pig, Topanga. This is what I do with her. This keeps her always motivated to go outside. And that is to feed her outside. She eats all her meals outside. I used to feed her in the house, but if you have a pig, a pig is a messy eater, a very messy eater. So when it comes to eating, I got so tired of cleaning up a mess on my floor. So I decided to move it to the porch. I thought, the porch is better. Put her food there, still made such a mess, and my husband complained quite a bit because, they leave a mess with food crumbs and all that stuff. So then I moved it down to the gravel. I moved it right in the back of our house. It's where our spigot, our hose comes out. So I put her bowl right there because then I didn't have to carry water from the inside all the time. And let me tell you, I love it because it doesn't matter if she makes a mess. Stupid fly. It's in the gravel. It doesn't matter. So I just leave her bowl out there all the time. She's fed breakfast and dinner outside, and I never have any issues, even on super cold days, getting her to go outside. Another tip is to give water outside. I let Topanga out of the house several times a day. That's where her water is. Now, if it's freezing, I'm probably going to, or like a lot of snow, I'm probably going to bring her food up to the porch because our porch is covered and it doesn't get a lot of precipitation. So I'm going to put it there. It's still going to get her outside. It is still going to make her want to go out the door. Now, if your pig only eats meals inside, then if they only eat meals outside, then they're going to be highly motivated to always go outside, even when it's cold and raining. So that's my first tip. Don't force. Make them want to go outside. Make them feel motivated to go outside. Feeding them and putting their water outside. Water also they spill. My pig always spilled her water. I got tired of cleaning it up, so I put it outside, and it has saved us a lot of, it saved our relationship because I got so tired of it. Now I mean, we have a small farm here, so I'm outside 20 times a day. Every time I come in the house, I pass her bowl and I look in it. If it's empty, I put water in it. That's as simple as that. So she can drink as much as she wants, but it's still outside. And if she makes a mess, it's outside. So that's my first tip. My second tip. If your pig, if you don't, not everybody wants to feed their pig outside, and I totally get that. You have to do what's good for you. So if you can't do that, then another thing that you can do is to teach your pig that when it goes outside, it gets a treat. Okay, so when you're potty training, save a special treat for your pig. Now, I used several different things. If you have Oink Box, I can't talk enough about how much I love Oink Box. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. They have the best treats. My pigs love them. And and they change every month. So it's always something new. The pig never gets sick of it, never gets tired of it and bored of it, because pigs do that. They get bored with things. So it's always changing. I like to use those. Number 2, I love to use those peppermint candies. They're a round peppermint candy that's hard. And I just crack it like with a hammer or whatever lightly so that it kind of crumbles. And then I take those crumbs and I use one at a time to motivate Topanga, to do something. When I was potty training her, I would fill my pocket. I have a sweater I always wear out, and I would fill my pocket with those crumbs, and I would give her a tiny sliver of a crumb every time she would potty outside. She loved those treats, absolutely loved them. So it really got her motivated. You do have to be careful not to reward until they're done with their potty, because otherwise they'll stop and start and stop and start and stop and start. They're smart. They want to get more treats. So make sure they're totally done. Praise, 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 treat. So when it comes to going outside, a lot of times all I have to do, if Topanga walks towards the door, I open it and she gets a rush of cold air, she just kind of steps back. So I usually have some treats in my hand and I just throw them out the door onto the porch. And then she sees them and she goes right out. There are only a few times that she did not want to go out. And I had to make it more worth her while by maybe a bigger treat. And it was last winter, we had about a week that was -40, okay? So you can completely understand why she didn't want to go out. I still got her to go out, but it was a lot harder to go out. So you can use all kinds of treats for this. Cheerios, just food, just their food, dried fruit, any veggie or whatever that they like. Even if they're really stubborn, you could use like some fruit snacks or something like that. Anything to teach them to go out. You're not gonna have to do that forever. This is something really, really special that is going to motivate them to want to go out the door. So that's what I do with Topanga. And then because of that, she has no hesitation when I open that door. Even if that wind gust blows, she almost gets more excited because she knows I'm gonna walk away and come back with something. So treats are like your best friend because your pig is going to really want those treats. So they're gonna be motivated to go outside. Number 3, dress your pig for success. If it's really cold outside, think about it. Pigs don't have much protection. They have a little bit of hair, but that's about it. And their feet have nothing. Their feet are like ours. They're very sensitive, number 1. And number 2, they're bare. They have a lot of exposed skin there that's very tender. So think about maybe getting a jacket, a cape, a blanket with a hole in it, whatever it is, something that you can put on your pig to kind of help to shield their body from the cold a little bit. There are several places that have clothes for pigs. You can buy dog clothes, but they don't fit pigs well. Their body is different from a dog. Now, I have bought a couple dog things, like a dog sweater and things for Topanga. It was hard to get on her because the neck hole is too small, so I had to snip it a little bit to make it a little bigger. But if you want something that's going to fit your pig well and that's not going to be such a challenge to get on them, buy them actual clothes that are made for pigs. And if you need help finding some, message me. I know quite a few that are really good. Okay, so that is going to make it a little more bearable for them. One tip: if you're going to start putting clothes on your pig for winter, you need to start out when they're young. Because a pig is a prey animal, a flight animal, they have to be taught that things are safe, and it's much easier to teach them that things are safe when they're young. So that is one reason that I put so much time and effort into training our piglets, because I want them to be able to be successful as they go on with their new family. I want them to be used to a harness. I want them to be used to clothing. I want them to be used to being touched and petted and held and carried and all kinds of things. So start out when they're young. Okay, if your pig is having a hard time and they need a refresher course of being potty trained, then don't hesitate to do that, because they may start having accidents in the house if they don't want to go outside. So go out with your pig. Go out, kind of retrain them. Every time they go potty, they get a treat. Good girl, good boy, good potty, good job. That goes a long way. That treat especially goes a long way. Okay, so those are my tips. Those are things that have really helped me. I've read some other tips, but they didn't really help me very much. So these are the things that help me. Motivate your pig to go outside with food. Food is imperative to motivating your pig. But I had two other things I wanted to cover. Number one, while outside, how can I tell if my pig is cold or even too cold? And it's very easy. If you need a coat and it's chilly for you, it's chilly for your pig. So like I said, clothing really helps if you want to put on a cape or something like that. And don't dilly-dally around. Take them out, go potty, come in the house. It's as simple as that. And if they know that it's going to be short and simple, then they're more likely to go out also. Pigs are very, very smart. Also, it might help to maybe shovel a little path so that they don't have to walk through the snow, but they can kind of just get to their area, go potty, and go back. A path is really, really, really going to be helpful. And like I said, watch their hooves, because their hooves don't have any protection. They're going to get cold, they're going to get pink, and could even get a little swollen. So just be prepared for that, know it, and be quick, just get in and out. That's one. The second thing I wanted to touch on was, how can I keep my pig busy inside? So our pig is now, in the summertime, Topanga spends most of her day outside. She wants to be outside, and we're outside too. So it's great. In the wintertime, she's in the house a lot more, and that's great. I love having her little hooves click-clack all over the floor all day. But there are a couple things that is going to make them being in the house a lot easier for everybody, for them and for you. Number one most important thing in my house is, it's kind of twofold, but Topanga has a bed. She has I don't exactly know what it's called, but it's kind of like one of those cat beds or dog beds that is a round bed, and then it has like a blanket over the top of it. So she has to get in, and she loves that bed. Absolutely loves that bed. It's her favorite thing. That's one. The second part is kind of a secret weapon, a heating pad. She loves her heating pad. I mean, she loves that thing. It stays on for, I think, 2 hours, and then it automatically turns off. The only time she ever gets up is when it turns off. So when she gets up walking around and she starts getting into things, they're like, all right, somebody go turn Topanga's heating pad back on, because she'll go right back to it. She loves that heating pad. So those it's kind of like a cuddle cave. There are some really, really cute ones online. I wouldn't spend a ton of money on a bed if your pig is still young because there's a chance it could potty on it. But if you don't mind, or you want to wait till they're a little older, those cuddle caves are awesome. Number 2, something else that I always have stocked up on, I'm always stocked up on in the winter is Whimsies. We go through a lot of Whimsies in the wintertime. I let Topanga have one a day. We never run out. And I buy her the large alligator shape. That is her preference. They're all different. So you need to start with a small one so they can see what it is. But actually I have right here. I just bought these. So these are Whimsies. I buy them on Amazon, okay? And what they are they're technically made for dogs, but this is the medium. I bought the wrong size. This is the medium, and it's really tiny. I don't even know how this is the medium, but it takes her this probably takes her about a half hour to eat. The large ones take her about 2 hours to eat. So they're like a chew treat, and it's really awesome because in the wintertime, especially when I'm cooking, she wants to be right underfoot, and it's so annoying. I don't want to burn myself. I don't want to cut anything off for myself. So I always give her a Whimsy in the mudroom. It keeps her out from under my feet, and it keeps her busy. It's awesome. I mean, they're a wonderful invention, and pigs generally love them. Not all of them do. You can do things to help them like them better. Like they have a hole in the back. You can kind of fill it with peanut butter and freeze it, and that helps a lot. Because they love peanut butter, but you have to be careful with the drool. You don't want to do it on like a carpet if you put peanut butter in it, type of a thing. Another thing that Topanga loves is, I get a lot of Amazon packages, especially right now. And there are a couple of companies, Amazon does pretty good too. They have that light paper that is like a roll and it's super long. So I get the boxes and I crumple up the paper, I put it in the box, and I throw like a handful of food. She goes nuts over it. She loves it. And after a week or so, she ends up tearing the box to bits. I could care less. It keeps her busy, and she really likes to do it, so I don't mind. And I just throw it away, and then I just give her a new one. So a box with paper and treats thrown in it is like awesome. She loves that. Treat toys. There are several treat toys that you can buy on Amazon that are fantastic. They're like a ball, and when they push them, one treat falls out at a time. Wonderful, wonderful. There's one called a Bobs-a-lot, and it looks like a bowling pin that they kind of push back and forth, and every time it comes back, it drops one thing. And so pigs who are super, super bored and aren't doing well, I would feed them their meals in that because it's going to keep them busy. It's going to kind of wear them out a little bit. Another thing. And then like always a rooting box with like maybe some river rock, some toys thrown in there, some balls, even some dryer balls, that kind of a thing, with some oats sprinkled in or some Cheerios is fantastic. It keeps her busy for a really long time. You just have to watch because when pigs are young, they'll go to the bathroom in a rooting box. So I've even seen people do like little kids swimming pools with the ball, like a ball pit type of a thing, and they put treats in there. But again, you just have to watch. They're not going to go to the bathroom in there. Now, I do have a tip. Make sure if you're bringing your pig in that you have a safe place that they can be. Pigs are territorial and they really do like to have their own space. So if you make sure your pig has a room, or I've seen people with big closets put their pig in there. I've seen just fenced off areas in the living room or in the mud room or in the basement. Or even like with Topanga, we just use an extra large size dog crate. We put it in the schoolroom. She has her medium-sized dog crate in the laundry room, and that's where she sleeps. But during the day, like when she wants to get away from us or take a nap, or sometimes she's done with us and she just wants to go somewhere. Or if I can't be watching her, if I'm taking a shower, if I have to run to the store, whatever it is, she always has a safe place to go. She is safe, my house is safe. They like to have their own space. So those are my tips. to help a pig get through the cold weather and help you get your pig out in the cold weather. I hope they were helpful. Please put any comments or questions. Feel free to put them in below in the comments section. If you have any other tips, please share them with us. This is a really great community that we have, the pig community. Sometimes people can be a little judgy. I'm not like that. I've had pigs for 16 years off and on, and I know it's not super easy, and everybody does it different, and I think that's just fine. Also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you don't miss any of my future videos. Thanks guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it.